Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Our webinar is called Preparing Job Seekers for a Post-Pandemic Economy. Today's presenters include three members of the EBSCO Learning Express sales team: Jimmie King, the Director of Sales, our Product Sales Specialist, Myriam Moss, and Customer Success Specialist, Trish Paulitz. And without further delay, I'd like to hand things over to Jimmie to get us started.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Tammy. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today and taking time out of your day to learn a little bit about what we're doing. I'm Jimmie King, the Director of Sales for Learning Express in North America. And if you'll switch to the next slide real quickly, what we're going to talk about today is just kind of give you an overview. Public libraries as second responders, which is an interesting concept. We're going to give you an overview of our Job and Career Accelerator content and how it connects with our base platform, Learning Express Library. And then Myriam is going to give you a live demo of Career Accelerator and show you the wonderful resources that are in this product. And then Trish is going to walk you through how to optimize and promote the product to make sure that your patrons know how to access it as easily as possible. So I found this article that I found interesting. I wanted to share it with you. It was out of the Atlantic, and it was titled Public Libraries, Novel Response to a Novel Virus by Deborah Fallows. And in there she had a quote: America's public libraries have led the ranks of second responders, stepping up for the communities in times of natural or man-made disasters like hurricanes, floods, shootings, fires, and big downturns in individual lives. I think the concept of second responders was interesting to me. You know, when you think about first responders being police and firefighters, and in the case of a pandemic, nurses and doctors and such. But after the first responders have taken care of what they can take care of, the second responders step in. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you'll switch slides for me, please. You know, some of the things, the way public libraries have responded currently to this pandemic, and the creativity of public libraries and of the librarians that run these places is amazing. Providing round-the-clock Wi-Fi access, hotspots. You know, public libraries are aware that a lot of customers rely on the library as their only point of Wi-Fi access. Libraries and communities are leaving their Wi-Fi's open after closing hours. Also, many libraries have loaned out the entirety of their supply of portable hotspots to schools, so children that are in need of internet connection to do at-home schoolwork. One example is the Brightwood branch of the Indianapolis Public Library made sure all their hotspots that they possessed through a Grow and Google partnership were checked out before they closed their doors. And there were many examples of libraries that are doing the same. 3D printing of personal protection equipment. Many libraries put their 3D printers from their maker spaces into use. In Maryland, the Prince George Community Memorial Library System has sent 2 of its 3D printers home with staff to begin printing shields for health workers. The library is donating the labor and the materials for this effort. You know, another way that public libraries have stepped up are feeding the hungry. You know, while schools have traditionally supplied lunches and breakfast for American school children who economically qualify for them, libraries have always stepped in for after-school snacks and summertime food programs. But now, with schools closed, more libraries have become drive-through or pickup locations for grab-and-go meals. This is happening in St. Louis County, for example, which is collaborating with Operation Food Search, a nonprofit that distributes free drive-through food pickups in 9 of their libraries. You know, another way public libraries are helping is taking care of the homeless. In Washington State, the downtown Spokane Public Library has opened as a temporary homeless shelter. In San Luis Obispo, California, the public library remains open as a designated safe and clean space for homeless people who live in their cars to camp overnight. The Richland County Library System in South Carolina, working with United Way, collected and delivered 40 standing hand sanitizing stations to local homeless shelters, and they also bought and placed portable potties outside their downtown public libraries. And keeping people productive, safe, healthy, informed, and connected is an important task of each public library. Many libraries have ramped up their online presence. There are lists of resources for children's activities, plans for improving adult job skills and dealing with job loss. hobby ideals, reading lists, ways to sleep better and meditate, and ways to stay calm, exercise, and ideas for virtual social interaction. Erica Grossman from AnyThink Libraries in Colorado stated that they are working swiftly to become a virtual town square, a place of information and connection. There's a lot of ways public libraries have responded in helping their communities get through this pandemic. But one of the biggest needs that is going to arise and is currently arising is due to the economic impact. How are public libraries going to respond to those that have lost their jobs, businesses have been shut down? Millions have filed for unemployment. Small businesses have closed, and millions are at risk of losing or closing their doors permanently. Historically, people have come to the public libraries for help, but with the enormous numbers of people that have lost their jobs and people that are out of work, how is a public library going to respond? And it's going to take a lot of different creative ways. If you'll switch slides for me, please. I am actually sitting in my home office, sheltering in place, in Round Rock, Texas. And so I want to give a little shout out to my hometown public library. They actually had a program since they closed their library doors where job seekers could sign up for an appointment and have their resume reviewed by a team member online. It was designed for job seekers whose current resumes are outdated or not getting the results. And if they don't even have a resume, and the librarian suggests ways to make the resume stand out among the competition. And I love that creativity. And it's going to take a lot of different things like that. So if you'll switch slides for me, please. So as the job seekers walk into your libraries, how are you going to respond to the challenges that they face? Imagine someone that has had a job for 20 years and is now all of a sudden out of work because they got laid off to the pandemic. Maybe you're a college graduate that's trying to just graduate from college and you're trying to find a job in the middle of this economic crisis. Just think about for those people to conduct a successful job search, particularly the person maybe that's had a job for 20 years. Things have changed. All the different job boards, employment agencies, job services. There's a lot of different ways that people can look for work. How do they begin? Where do they start? They're going to come to your libraries asking those questions. Just imagine preparing for an interview. That is extremely intimidating. You know, what do I bring? What do I wear? What questions should I expect to be asked? How am I going to answer those questions? How am I going to negotiate a salary? How do I even create a resume? One that's going to stand out. That can be extremely intimidating. I need to write a cover letter. How do I do that? What is it supposed to include? Exactly how do I write that? And then just the follow-up correspondences, just to thank you. And I want to follow up and check it in. Exactly how am I supposed to do that to be professional and be able to land those jobs? So what we're going to share with you today is a product called Job and Career Accelerator that will answer all those questions. But before I turn it over to Myriam to give you a demo, I want to give you a little background on our company. So we have a base platform called Learning Express Library. And it's got all kinds of different test prep content to help high school students and college graduates and adult learners. But it also has a lot of career content in it as well. And we have a product that you can add to the base platform, or you can purchase Job and Career Accelerator as a standalone product. And Job and Career Accelerator will walk you through and help you use this as a tool to help those job seekers face all those challenges that we just talked about. Now, just up front, I'm hoping that we have a lot of current customers online and you're using this as a refresher so that you can understand better how you can use Job and Career Accelerator in the middle of this crisis. But I'm hoping there's a lot of people on here that are interested in, we need to face the challenges that are helping people in this economic crisis. And hopefully maybe you'll see where Job and Career Accelerator can be a tool that you can use to help these people meet that challenge. So now I'm going to turn it over to Myriam, and she's going to walk you through the platform and give you a demo and show you how you can use this product with your patrons in your public libraries.
Thank you, Jimmie. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. And so, as Jimmie mentioned, now is the time that people are thinking of of a new job, a change of careers, they've been recently laid off or unemployed, or just looking for a better opportunity for themselves and their families. And we have the tools to help as they turn to you, to their libraries for that assistance. And so Job and Career Accelerator is the most complete and easy to use job search application that will integrate everything one would need for a successful job search. From starting with our Find a Career Match, this includes our ONET-based skills and interest matcher. And so these are 15 minutes to complete, and it will link your users to occupations that best suits their interest and experience level. Under our Explore Occupations, you can search for resources, occupations in the green sector, fields projected to have long-term growth, as well as a military tab where veterans can also explore civilian occupations that are similar to their military jobs. Under our search for jobs and internships, I can just quickly open just to show you. Here you will see our job search as well as our internship engine search, but you will also find a tutorial that will assist your users to make the most of their job search and how to find the most promising job opportunities within the Find Your Next Job tutorial. In the next section, we were under Search for Jobs and Internships. Under the Tools to Get Hired, you will find our resume and our cover letter builder, also a tutorial on interviewing with confidence. You'll also find sample letters that your users can also download and print to assist them throughout the interview process. Our career library here, this will contain ebooks and I actually pulled up a few here so that you can see. Here are a few examples of some of the ebooks that we have within the Job and Career Accelerator as well as Learning Express library to help your users as well for a successful career. We'll close that. And then lastly, we have our school and scholarship finder. And so here, your users can search for colleges and graduate schools, as well as a scholarship finder where they can search over 24,000 scholarships and awards that total over $7 billion. And so today, I wanted to quickly highlight and get into one of the, in my opinion, the hardest part of the job search process, and that's to get your resume created. And so I'd like to quickly show you how easy it is to build and create a fresh resume. And so we are going to begin by opening up the resume builder tool so we can create a new one, or we can upload and edit an existing one. So we're going to create a new one. We're going to enter our name. Now, it is not required that your users put in a description, but it is helpful as they are creating customized resumes during their job search. We select our job category. And so I am going to create a nursing resume as nursing and just the healthcare sector that's greatly needed at this time. Going under our job experience, you can see we go from little to no experience all the way up to an experience as well as a research academic job seeker. And so I'll put it as mid for now. And then also we can change our work situation. So if there was a 6-month gap in your work history, you're a veteran and you're transitioning from the military to the civilian workforce, or just looking to change careers, we have tips along the way to help with any of these situations. And so we'll leave it for none for now, and we will start by building our resume. And so within our resume builder tool, we actually have over 200 sample resumes to help your users build a professionally written resume. And so they can choose up to 4 samples that match. And so earlier when I was selecting my job category, experience level, and work situation, it was narrowing the samples down to what I was that's what I was looking for. And so I'm going to select, as I mentioned, the nurse. And so we'll do the mid-level nurse. As you can see, we have an expert tip. Let's add that to our resume, and then let me compare it to the experience. And so we're going to add that one as well. So we have these two that we're going to pull from. And so we're going to go back to building and editing our resume, and then we're just going to fill out the sections of choice. And so going into our headline, and I'm going to pull this from our sample. So this is from the mid, and this is from our experienced job seeker nurse. And so we just click add to resume. As you can see, it self-populates. You hit save. We're going into qualifications. Same thing. As you can see, it is very easy to do. Your users can also edit as well. And so let's use this one. And let's just say that I have never supervised nurses during the night shift, but I have during the day. So I can change that. I can add that, and we can add another. Pull from the experience as well. Save it and close. And as you can see, it is very easy to do. We also include a keyword list of 750 action words, as well as 25,000 job-specific keywords to set your user's resume apart. And this is especially if an employer is using an application to weed through a number of resumes. You want to make sure that you have the keywords to make sure that it pops up so that you can get called for that interview. And so here are some terms under the nursing category. This is nurses. And then if we go under nursing, right here, here are some terms that your users can sprinkle along onto their resume so that they can get called for that interview. And then we can preview our resume to see what we have done so far. As you can see here, you can also customize it as well. And so there's no formatting required, as the resume builder does it all. And so as you can see, your users can just select the look that they like. And the other cool thing that I do want to point out, they can move sections around. So let's say they didn't want the qualifications here, they wanted that. They can actually shift things around within the resume builder as well. And so we also have a cover letter builder. It works the same way. And let me just go into my My Center dashboard so that you can see all of the cover letters that I have created. And so here, all of your resumes, all of the cover letters that your users have created will be saved here. And so they can create as many as they like. With our cover letters, again, it will be saved here. You can see the different types that they can create. They can email it to themselves or directly to an employer. They can definitely edit and make another. They can print or download in a variety of options, such as a PDF, a text format, or a Word document, or they can delete. While I'm here also, we do have our jobs that we can search as well, and this is all via Indeed, and we can, again, put in nursing. I'll put in my zip code. And I know I'm going the back way, but I can show you another area that we can, this is just another area that you can access the search, the job search tool. And so here, as you can see here, your users will be able to see all of the job search, all of the jobs that are in their area. They can save it to apply later on, or they can apply for it. Once they click on it, it will take them directly to the actual post within Indeed. For users that are completely unsure about what career best fits them, as we mentioned, we have under our Find a Career Match, we have our skills matcher as well as our interest matcher. And as I mentioned earlier, they are ONET-based questionnaires. They take about 15 minutes to complete, and I have already completed mine. And so it will give your users a list of their 2 highest scoring categories, and it will be listed as their primary match, occupation match, as well as their secondary occupation match. And so all your users have to do is just take a look at the list. They can click on it, and they will then be directed to one of our occupation cards. We actually have 1,100 different occupation cards within the Job and Career Accelerator, and it will give your users a detailed description of a specific occupation. And so in this case, a medical assistant. As you can see, it will also include a quick little video so to explain the occupation, but also you will see that it will give you the wages and the trends based on the US averages. You'll also find the knowledge, skills, and abilities that are needed in that occupation, tasks and activities, tools and technologies that are used, education and training, but most importantly, what I wanted to show you is this, the recommended occupation practice resources. And so here it will link all of the resources that will integrate seamlessly with Learning Express Library to connect your users with the resources to prepare for that career. And so it's all connected. Your users don't have to go anywhere else to look for it. It's all there with one click of the mouse. So if I click this right here, this will take us to the introduction page to begin preparing for the medical assistant certification exam. And so as we're here, oh, well, actually, let me just quickly just finish off the Job and Career Accelerator, and then we'll just quickly jump into where the Certified Medical Assistant practice exam information is located. I just wanted to just leave mention in this area that your users will also have guidance all throughout. And so within the Job and Career Accelerator, let me go back here. And so no matter what area that your users are in, if we go into the guidance, here they will find expert advice no matter where they are. And so they'll find additional articles that they can print to help them along the way, such as Secrets to Landing Jobs of the Future, Networking Without Strangers, which is probably is going to be a little hard right now. Irrelevant. 10 tips to build the perfect resume, reference do's and don'ts. We also have a tutorial for those that on how to fill out a job application. And this is for those that are brand new to the process. They'll get step-by-step tips and guidance on how to do so, whether it is online or in person. And so as I mentioned, within our Learning Express library, within the Career Exploration Center, you will find additional resources to help your users as well. So here they can learn about in any careers. Here we've added a new tutorial for veterans who are transitioning from the military to the civilian workforce. We have 2 tutorials here. The work search here and workplace skills, job search. Here you will find soft skill tutorials on how to successfully conduct your job search, as well as your workplace skills, communication. Also, we have resources to prepare for any certification exams. So as you can see here, our our air traffic controller exam, allied health. So we've added resources for the T's. You can see a dental assistant, medical assistant, pharmacy tech, radiologic technologist, surgical technologist, veterinary tech, civil service, cosmetology, commercial driver's license, culinary arts, electrical and EMS, and plumbing, EMS. law enforcement. For those that are thinking of joining the military, we have resources to prepare for that as well. Our nursing exams, so we do have resources for the NCLEX, RN, and PN. Our real estate, our teaching exams, so we have the Praxis as well as any state-specific exams. And then lastly, for our work keys and the TOEIC. And so as you can see, we have a number of resources here to help your users in all areas of their lives. And so again, if you are definitely interested in additional information, trial, pricing, please use the form following this call. And we just want you to know that we are here for you. We know this is definitely a hard time, but we are here for you. We have the resources here to help your communities succeed. And so with that, I'd like to pass the ball and then have Trish, my partner Trish, show you all of the ways to promote our resources. Trish?
Hi, everyone. My name is Trish Paulitz, and today I'm going to talk to you about some tools for optimizing and promoting your Job and Career Accelerator subscriptions. My role with Learning Express is to help ensure librarians are getting the most value from their Learning Express subscriptions. I specifically work with librarians to help promote these important resources and to ensure they're easy to access. Today, more than ever, we're tasked with making these career resources intuitive to patrons accessing from home. I'm going to talk about a few helpful tools that are available to help with that. The tools that I'm going to talk about today are utilizing direct center and subject matter URLs, digital MARC records, online promotion kits, and Libraryaware resources. The first tool I'd like to talk about is using direct center URLs. We call Job and Career Accelerator a center and have a URL that will lead the patron directly to its content. The benefit of using these is that these links bypass the main landing page so that patrons can quickly get right to the career help that they're looking for. You may choose to use product buttons on your website to link users directly to Job and Career Accelerator. You can also quickly link users to individual Learning Express library centers such as Career Preparation and High School Equivalency Center. If you could go to the next slide, please. Oh, no, that's perfect, sorry. I'd also like to talk about direct category URLs or subject matter URLs. In addition to using center URLs, which I talked about on the previous page, direct category URLs enable libraries to quickly link patrons to the specific content that is most important to their patron needs. What you see here on this page are the many different career paths which can be linked to directly. So for example, prepare for allied health and social worker exams, prepare for military exams, prepare for nursing exams, or prepare for teaching exams. Seeing as there are many to choose from, you may decide to share links to the career paths that you know are most important to your particular patrons, or you can share them all. I encourage you to post these links in social media, in email blasts, and to place them intuitively on your website. The next tool I'd like to talk about is downloading MARC records into your digital catalogs. MARC records are crucial to helping users find library resources quickly and easily, especially now that patrons are remote and searching from home. Records are available for all items in Learning Express Library and Job and Career Accelerator, not just the ebooks. You'll find that we have created records for resources such as tutorials, practice tests, flashcards, and more. Here's an example of a library that has the MARC records in their catalog. I typed in GED, and on the next page, you'll see that the first 6 or so results bring the patron right into their available GED resources from Learning Express. You can learn how to quickly download MARC records by going to the link listed here. Because we're regularly adding new content, I also encourage you to update your records quarterly. The next tools I wanted to mention are the promotional kits that are available to you on EBSCO Connect. These kits include items such as flyers and bookmarks, web buttons, and social media kits. Social media kits include images and sample posts for promoting job and career resources on Twitter and in Facebook. You will find these on the links shown here, and I encourage you to check them out. There are some really great materials that can save you a lot of time. Another helpful tool that can help you to promote Learning Express, as well as any other resource you have, is Libraryaware from Novelist. The Novelist team is fantastic, and they've created this tool that helps with email blasts, newsletters, flyers, and so much more. They have created a bunch of materials specific to Learning Express, which have shown to be a really great time saver for our librarians. Libraryaware also includes widgets, which can be placed on your library website and link directly to Job and Career Accelerator, or you can share them on social media. You can also promote Learning Express Job and Career Accelerator using Libraryware's customizable email templates, which have been very popular. The team has created a Pinterest page that you can check out for inspiration and to see what's available. If you don't currently subscribe to Libraryaware and you'd like more information and a free trial, please do remember to fill out the form, which will be attached to this presentation, and a specialist will be happy to help. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for listening to me share some tools to help you optimize and promote your Job and Career Accelerator resources. And I'm going to hand it back to Tammy.
Great. Thank you so much, Trish. That was great. I've included a number of links in the chat box for those of you who are following along if you are looking for them. I'll be sure to follow up with those links again, make those available to you if you for some reason missed them in the chat. We have a lot of questions to get to, so I am going to start off. I'm going to do the best I can to answer all of them or get most of them answered, but if we don't get to your question, I will be sure to make sure that we follow up with you individually and get the answer to your question. So this is probably a good one for Jimmie. A lot of people are asking about Job and Career Accelerator and whether or not it is available with the basic library, Learning Express library subscription. Do you want to talk a little bit about how those?
Yeah, so Job and Career Accelerator can be purchased as a standalone product, or it can be added. So if you're a current Learning Express library customer, we can add Job and Career Accelerator to your base platform. So, but if you're not a current customer of Learning Express Library, and at this point you're really interested in the Job and Career Accelerator, you can purchase that as a standalone product.
Great. Okay, so we have some questions about the ebooks, publication dates, how often they're updated.
Yeah, so the ebooks are constantly being monitored and updated and reviewed. They're all proprietary to a Learning Express, and in particularly if they're related to a particular test. For instance, we have SAT books and AP test books and pharmacy technician books and so forth, and those are constantly monitored. And if the tests change, then we'll update those ebooks immediately. And if there is misleading information because the test has changed, we will pull that ebook off the platform, update it, and then put it back on the platform. We will not leave misinformation in an ebook because the test has changed.
And if you ever spot anything, by all means, let us know. Yeah. Sometimes we miss things. It's, we're all.
Do you have anything to add to that, Myriam? You might have some more insight.
No, Jimmie, you actually answered the correctly. Also, our content team usually goes through a review process also with the ebooks. I believe it's annual or biannual, where they go through all of the ebooks, especially the evergreen resources such as our math, because that doesn't change, but they do just review it just to make sure that it is still current and relevant. And so we do make sure that we change it, and then we put in a date that it has been reviewed by the Learning Express team.
And they're all they're all unlimited access, and there's no digital rights management. So if a patron downloads the ebook, they will have that on their device until they choose to delete it.
That's correct.
So another question that we have is about suggestions, any suggestions on how to help patrons who usually require hands-on assistance with job searches while employing safe measures. We oftentimes have patrons who are nervous with technology and request that we drive the computers for them. So they were just wondering if you have any suggestions. It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know, that's one of the reasons why we highlighted our tutorial on job searching. I would definitely have them go through that particular tutorial, and they really might get some wonderful ideas on how to conduct a good and safe search. And that's the place I would start, as you know, particularly if they're a little nervous in that whole process. And it may be something that you want to go through, and you might get some ideas of what you can share by going through the tutorial yourself.
Great.
We also have our user guides also, so that just for anyone that might be just nervous on how to just navigate just in general our platform, we have our video guides that they can also access, and it's really easy. There's closed captioning as well, and so if they didn't want the sound, they can like read it also, so that will help them also just navigate through everything if they're just nervous.
And those are located at under the help. So at the top of the homepage, there's a help button, and you click on that, and then you'll see the help guides there, and you can click on that, and they're broken up into different sections: how to take a test, how to take a tutorial, how to search on the site, how to download an ebook, all the different functionalities that a patron would want to do. There's little short videos that will explain to them exactly how to do those. Thank you, Myriam.
Great. Someone's also asking, how local are the jobs in the jobs finder search engine?
You want to handle that, Myriam?
It can go very local. I mean, you just type in your zip code, and then we also have a filter. So if you want to get really detailed with your search, you can do that as well. And so it's not just nursing and then a zip code. It can really go in depth. And so, as I mentioned, it is via Indeed. And so Indeed isn't just limited to one area, it's worldwide. And that's one of the reasons why we have partnered and we use them. And so, yeah, it will get everywhere. It will get everywhere. Yes.
One of the filters you can use, it's how far away from your zip code. So if you were to
Right.
take your specific zip code, you can say, I want it within 5 miles of this zip code, 20 miles, 25 miles. So if you want something really close to your home, you could put within 5 miles of this zip code, and you'll get a lot of jobs that will be, I mean, literally right next door to you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Another question. I've got so many. So, okay. Do you provide instructional or overview videos that we can share with the public? We're finding this is the best way to provide instruction with our patrons now that we can't do face-to-face instruction.
Yeah, and that's where those videos that we talked under the help section, and I believe that we can actually send you those videos if you wanted to place those on your webpage. So of how to take a test or kind of whatever. I believe we can do that. Isn't that right, Myriam?
Yes. And then also, if you are interested in just for internally, for your internal library staff, if you are interested in videos on how to use Learning Express Library and just the resources also, we have some videos that we can also, of demonstrations that we can also send out to you as well, that you can share with your team. And then we also have our training. So if you are interested, you can also sign your group, your team up for also any of our live trainings as well. And that will just tell you everything about what's within Learning Express or Job and Career Accelerator or any of our other add-on products, and then how to use it. If you have any questions, you can definitely use that time as well for you and your team to ask it.
Excellent. There's also a couple questions about user accounts. Do users have to create online accounts with Learning Express Library and Job and Career Accelerator?
Yes, they do. It's extremely simple. They typically, with a email address and a simple password is all they need to be able to do that. And there is a way to do it without an email address. So if they don't feel comfortable entering their email address, they can do it without an email address. But it is a requirement. You can browse the platform to see what's available, but if you want to take a test, download an ebook, or do any of the functions in the platform, you have to create an account. And one of the main reasons is you'll notice that Myriam was going to an area called My Center, which is a personal portfolio of everything the patron's been working on. So maybe they're creating multiple resumes and cover letters, or they're taking one of the tests to prepare for nursing, and let's say they get halfway through it and all of a sudden something happens and they have to stop. Well, they can save that test right where they left off. It will be saved to My Center, and they can go back and click on that and start that test right where they left off. So everything that they've been working on, maybe they've downloaded 4 or 5 ebooks and their phone crashes and they lose those ebooks and they can't remember what was that ebook again. They can go back to My Center, and every ebook that they've downloaded will be curated there. And so the only way that we can save that info, or they can save that information, is they have to create an account to be able to do that. So it is a requirement in the platform, but there's a lot of reasons why that's important for them to do. Just kind of a heads up, here in the next couple of months, we'll be adding the ability to create an account using Google Authentication. So if people already have a Google account, then they can click on that, enter their Google information, their Google username and password, and be able to create an account that way, which might be easier, just be one less account. So we've got some other enhancements down the road that we're working on to make that authentication easier. But yes, currently they have to create an account to be able to use the platform.
There is another question about mobile-friendly versions of these resources. Are there any, or will they be coming out soon?
Yeah, so, well, the platform is, what's the word, dynamically designed or whatever, so it'll automatically responsive. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I couldn't think of that word. So it'll automatically format for if you're on a phone or a tablet and those type of things. And we do have a mobile application, and one of the benefits of the mobile application, it allows your patrons that maybe don't have internet access at home, they can create an account online, and then maybe at the public library, and then they can download the app and then use their username and password that they created to log into the app, and then they can download a test and they can practice that test offline at home without internet access. So so we have a mobile app that will allow them to do that. And if you're a current customer, that has to be turned on. That's a fairly new feature. Just let us know and we can work with you on that.
Great. I think we have time for a couple more questions. And I apologize because there are so many questions. I think we have about, I want to say 50 questions. So I apologize to those of you attending if we're not getting to yours, but I've actually thought of a way that we might be able to address a lot of these questions in a follow-up, maybe blog post or something. So I will talk offline with Jimmie and Myriam and Trish about that. One of the questions is about, does Job and Career Accelerator address any issues related to career transition for older adults and senior citizens, or those with intellectual disabilities? Questions like that.
What do you think, Myriam? You know, we do have the transition, we have the tutorials, and we have a tool to help the military that are transitioning from the military to civilian life, or if they're wanting to go to school. But I don't think we, at this current point, but that's honestly, I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you this. Generally, most of the content and most of the enhancements that we make to the platform come from recommendations from our customers. And I think that's a great recommendation to you know, maybe somebody's retired and needing to go back to work. You know, what are some ways that we can help them in that process? Or like you said, maybe some mentally disadvantaged individuals that are looking for work. Maybe there's some special tutorials or resources we can add to help those individuals. But at this point, I don't think we currently have anything specifically like that.
Let's see. There's a question about translations available.
Yeah, so currently within the Learning Express Library platform, we do have a center, a Spanish center, that has core academic areas, becoming a U.S. citizen, passing the GED, all in Spanish. But at this point, we don't have any translations into any other languages except for that one center. It is something that we're looking into, and hate to give you a date when that's going to happen, but we're looking at adding a mechanical translator to the platform. But there's a lot of things we got to work out to make that happen. But that is something that we're looking at doing.
Great. Thank you very much. I think that is all the time we have. So I am going to actually respond to as many of these questions in the Q&A as I can on my own, but anything that we want to have more detailed information or lengthier responses to, we'll put together in a blog post or something and share that with everyone. Is there anything else you guys want to add? The presenter?
Yeah. Let me just kind of change gears on you. I just want to let everyone know about some other WebExes that we have upcoming. That Duncan Smith, the founder of Novelist, is going to be leading these WebExes, and it's on an entrepreneurial product that we're working with, Entrepreneur Leadership Initiative. And when you think about the times that we're going through, and the fact that a lot of people that own businesses, or let's say people had a job and were laid off, and this may be the push that makes these people that are out of work to think, maybe I will start my own business, or I'll turn my cottage, my hobby, I'm going to turn it into a business. Well, we're working with a product called Entrepreneur Leadership Initiative, and it's a mindset training course. And it's a great product to support the entrepreneurs in your communities. And as we move forward in this new economic situation and this new world that we're going to be having in the next few years, entrepreneurs are going to be vitally important. And so if you're interested in learning about the product to help support your entrepreneurs, we're going to post, actually it was just posted in the comment bar. If you're interested in sign up for that webinar to hear Duncan Smith talk about the Entrepreneur Leadership Initiative, the Entrepreneur Mindset Training course, definitely click on that and join that if you're interested in that. And again, thank you everyone for joining. We really appreciate it. Thank you for what you do for our communities, public libraries. I don't know what the world would be without you fighting and pushing and helping our community. So thank you very much. And if we can do anything to help you in the future, be sure to let us know.
Great. Thank you, Jimmie. I'd like to thank everyone for attending our session today. You will receive an email from us within the next few days with a link to the recording of today's session, along with additional contact information should you have further questions or comments. As I said, as soon as you leave the webinar, you will be redirected to a landing page where those of you who are tuning in today can download the PowerPoint, or it's a PDF of the PowerPoint presentation. And if you are interested in learning more about Job and Career Accelerator, you can also fill out a form, and you will be connected with an EBSCO sales representative for a free trial or any other questions you may have. So thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.